There we go. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to ESO Daily. I'm your host, Mystic Raven. I'm so sorry, guys. Just got done updating my Windows. I have to redo all my parameters here. So, anyways, patch notes live. Didn't get to cover them yesterday. Went over the build, two builds. I got a lot of work. So we're going to discuss the patch notes today, what the console players can anticipate moving forward. For the PC players, this is 4.0.5. And, what made it live. We'll go over as much as possible today, and hopefully it shouldn't take too long. I'll skip a lot of the little fluff. All right. So, there's a lot of changes to the base game. Kind of important paragraph here. The base game brings a number of changes and improvements too. First, you'll find Battlegrounds are now available for all ESO players. Sorry about that. We've also added a number of new motifs, collectibles, and achievements, and have implemented a new gifting system. The gifting system is pretty cool, though, by the way. Got to check that out. It's pretty badass. So you can send Crown Store items directly to your friends. And as always, you'll find a number of bugs and improvements to existing game overall. Due to the high number of gameplay changes in this update, we're temporarily reducing the respec cost to 1 gold until next week's patch. Morning, Marty. Morning, David. Thank you. I appreciate it, brother. Yeah, so we are getting a respec reduction. So, cool deal. Awesome. Now, table of contents, Summerset Zone, Psijic Order Skill Line, Cloud Rest Trial. I did not get to try the Cloud Rest Trial. I was just so busy. Jewelry crafting traits, new item sets, new collectibles, Psijic portals, abyssal geysers. These are really two big Overland things that you really need to know of. There's new houses and, of course, the Pandonian motif. Okay, base game. We see the Battleground moving to the base game. Crown Store gifting daily login rewards. We will go over that. That is really cool as well. New motifs, new achievements, new Alliance War and Battleground collectibles, new alchemy regions, and champion points increase. So they did another increase. I wish they would start doing it only twice a year instead of like 4 times a year. Jeez, it's getting crazy. Because the new players coming in. I just wish they'd kind of slow it down a little bit. Okay, there's fixes, improvements, combat and gameplay, combat balances, itemization balance, base game, Alliance War, economy, crafting, so on and so forth. Okay, Summerset Zone. I'll just cover just the basic. Use a way shrine to travel directly there. Create a new character and complete the tutorial. So there's another, for new players coming in, another walkthrough guide. Accept the Queen's Decree quest from the stories section in the collections UI. That's another way you can start the quest line. This new chapter includes a brand new tutorial zone, 6 delves, 6 world bosses, 2 public dungeons, Sunhold and Carn Waston. I think that's how you pronounce it. Abyssal Geysers provide new group challenges, which you can read about more below. The new outfit and housing rewards, and new item sets. Only found in Summerset. Okay, Psijic Order Skill Line. Really important here. Kind of covered this, so as many content creators. Time stop. Slow down the passage time to slow it. Eventually freezes, stunning all enemies in the area. Once again, this is not much a PvE that you would do, but PvP, it has its applications. Imbue Weapon is the big changer, right? Imbue Weapon enhances your weapon with energy, causing your next light attack to deal additional damage. That is a nice spammable for the light attacks. Morning, Calvin. Thank you. So, Imbue Weapon can work on any class, especially classes that don't have spammable, like Stam Sork, Stam DK. Plus, if you want to use different sets, you can use Imbue Weapon. Imbue Weapon's really nice. And one of the nice things about Imbue Weapon, especially on Sork, Mag Sork works out really well too. Snap, I just hit the back key. Sorry about that. Nice thing about Imbue Weapon. One thing I really like about Imbue Weapon on Sorks, Mag Sorks, is the Elegance set. Elegance works great with Imbue Weapon. Elegance is in back in full effect, especially if you're using imbue weapon as a spammable. It's really nice. I'm not going to lie to you. Accelerated bend. Acceleration, bend time and space around you, increasing your movement speed and critical strikes. This is, once again, more applies to the Magicka tune. Kind of went over that. Mend wounds. What's up, Robert? Morning, Scott. So, mend wounds, you guys have already seen how I've started applying this ability to certain heals, especially with wardens. Not every heal build will be using mend wounds, but once again, mend wounds will stack with Lotus Blossom and such. So it's really cool. Really awesome. Undo. Once again, it's the ultimate. Tanks mainly going to slot this for its, shielding effect. PvP, really good PvE. I don't know. There might be some people who use it, more or less. Cloud Rest Trial. Once again, didn't get to step foot in it this time. I got to play every trial on when it came out on PTS, except this one. I just didn't have time. So it is the new 12-player trial. It's considered a mini trial. So, but it definitely, I believe, has its challenges. I know a couple people were telling me about it. So I really can't wait to check it out. I just didn't get a chance to do it on PTS. So I'll probably start off on normal. I always do. And then if I can find players who are capable of doing vet, that's a whole different topic. Then I'll step it up to vet. And hopefully I get my vet in. If I don't, I don't. If I do, cool. There are unique item sets. Details further below. Once again, we'll go over those sets. Unique achievements available for completing the trial include unique player skin. That's hard mode. So, several titles, depending on difficulty, what you play it at. And unique housing items. And those are usually the bus. And I believe a couple motifs and stuff can drop in there. Okay, jewelry crafting. This is the feature of Summerset. You need Summerset to jewelry craft. It's a new skill line. It's like blacksmithing, clothing. You gain less inspiration for deconstructing jewelry than you yourself crafting. So it's backwards. So every other crafting, if we break down, we get more XP. In jewelry crafting, opposite effect. The more we craft, the more we gain. So they did it backwards. But because why? Because you're not going to craft as much as you would typically decon. So heads up, FYI, just take note on that. Note that any ring or necklaces obtained before 18, before this new update, these items will have an additional note on their tooltip indicating as much. They can, however, be used for research or upgrades. So don't believe that you can decon a gold jewelry prior to this update and get gold mats. You won't. Yo, Dubin, Papa, morning. Hope you're all doing well. So, heads up, you'll have to wait till after update to get material for decons. But you can transmute, you can, augment, do all that kind of stuff. So, still cool. So, if you already have your gold, keep it. Jewelry is made with new precious metals, materials found in seams, which are found all over Tamriel. So even if you don't have Summerset, you can still, obtain the material. Okay? You could sell it and such. They're usually found in outcroppings in the shade of cliff sides or stony patches or stony places, kind of like your rubidite in your ores. In much the same place you might find usually blacksmith. Okay, they already put it out there. Can't wait until about 12:31. Going to start drinking for my birthday probably. Oh, happy birthday, Scott! Happy birthday, brother! Happy birthday! Happy birthday! I'm not going to sing a whole song, but there you have it. Happy birthday! I hope you're not as old as me, Scott. What's up, David? Regardless of whether or not you own Summerset, so I just covered that. Okay, there's pewter, 1 to 25, copper, 2650, silver, 10 to 60 CP, electrum, 70 to 140, and of course platinum, 150 to 160. Jewelry is improved by using platings. Platings can be refined from plating grains, which can be obtained by refining raw dust or by deconstructing jewelry. So here's the deal. A lot of people were like, oh, we can still do our trials and get mats from gold jewelry. That's true, but you won't get one. It has the same effect as the traditional crafting. So, okay, tenor improves white to green. Iridium improves green to blue. Synchron improves from blue to purple. And Coronum improves purple to gold. Coronum is the pain to get. It's a pain. When you decon a gold piece of jewelry, I believe it's still 1. And it's just like, you know, the same problem with tempers and dust. You have to refine. And you need a lot to refine. So people will be everywhere harvesting nodes like no other. Because node refining is still going to be like your primary way of getting the materials. Trust you and me. Yo, Papa, was you on the Xbox PC yesterday? I tried getting some PvP with you. Thank you, Mystic. No problem, brother. No problem. Traits for jewelry can be researched by obtaining a ring or a necklace. The new trait and researching it. The time required to research new traits is the same as any other trade skills. Starting at 6 hours for your first trait and double for each successful trait. That doesn't change. All right. Except the only difference of it is you can't use the scrolls. Research scrolls. And I think they'll probably put that on here. Just like other trade skills, you can research items crafted by other players or those who you find in the world. Players with ESO Plus membership will enjoy the 10% faster research to all jewelry crafting traits. I really do like that, to be honest with you. A jewelry crafting research scroll is available from Faustino Curro, the achievement mediator, for 10 RIT vouchers. So a jewelry crafting research scroll? What? Shut up. You have the jewelry crafting achievement to be purchased as with the other research scroll. The jewelry crafting research scroll has 20-hour cooldown and removes 1 day off. Oh my god, so you can use the RIT vouchers. But they said the Crown store, can you still use that one or not? So I can use the one on the vendor. Can I use the one in the store for the Crown? I'm wanting to know about that. Damn it. Damn, Zoss really fucked up everyone now saying Mage Blade or Rip. Nah. Mage Blades are still strong, but Mage Blades got a slight nerf with cost. They said it was, you know, to increase a couple of things, and Twisted Path got nerfed. So, they got a slight nerf, but they're still really rough. Nothing got changed too much, though. You know, if anything, like, the one aspect to the Sorks got really bumped up. Elegance is the way to... Okay. Elegance is the way to go with Sork. I'm telling you. Well, did a lot of these dudes don't know? I'm telling you, power overload elegance on Sork. I'm telling you, and I'm telling you. Elegance. Holy crap. You can use the scrolls. There isn't an instant jewelry scroll. Yeah, but they have one now on the RIT voucher. Kind of crazy. Well, a lot of people, when they did the tests, they kept putting them in the same set. That's the problem. You can't do that shit. You can't. If you don't reconfigure every class different in this game, you will suffer. You will suffer. That's what they did. I will tell you right now. I got to see 2 content creators. They did the same stupid shit that they do every fucking time. They put them all in the same shit and test it. And then when it doesn't come out to the exact same numbers, they fucking hit the panic button and tell everybody this class is now shit. That's what they do. Because they're friggin' whatever. They don't understand the game in the different variables and how the sets apply to each class and differently, and how they can get more out of different each class based on the parameter or their skills or what they're doing. But I don't know. I have no idea. They're whatever. But if you're a Sork, elegance with imbue weapon morph, just badass. I'm telling you, badass. Jewelry crafting skill line has 5 new passives. Engraver allows you to use higher level base material, right? It's granted free upon the obtaining the skill line. Keen Sight, that allows you to see the nodes. Jewelry Extraction increases the chance of getting rare materials, just normal shit. Lapidary Research decreases the time for research material. The only thing you won't see on here is hirelings. Same shit, just no hirelings. because of the new trial, it so aids Mage Blades pulling the most deeps, and they heal while they deep, and they're very mobile. So it's like rip all other setups. Well, for that trial, yeah, I mean, I can understand because of the major expedition, but if you take the new Psijic Order skill line, you can get major expedition on Sork. And even if you use lightning, your lightning armor, you get major expedition. So if they didn't think of that, then they lost out. Problem of it is, though, how many Sorks are within the area to deal the damage from the ability. That's the only thing that sucked. That's the only thing that sucks. So most mag Sorks aren't in that close to really reap the benefits from the ability. That's why most Sorks don't use it. Can't say I blame them. They should actually extend the field a little bit, the radius. That would help, possibly. Or either that, or it shoots out a random bolt every so often. But yeah, I can understand that from that perspective, from mobility. You know, and, you know, being able to use viable like AoE, because Twisted and Refreshing Path lay down a damage and granite. I agree with Mystic. Each class uses gear differently. Stamina is a lot easier to build for. Yeah, you have to build them different. If they put them in the same gear, they're not doing it right. But whatever. I keep going over that. But yeah, I can understand why a lot of people might say that. But DPS-wise, Sorks still look good. That's what I don't get. Like, the DPS that they're pushing is still really freaking awesome. Especially Elegance, I'm telling you. Elegance. Anyways, moving on. There are new jewelry crafting writs you can perform. That's for doing your dailies. Once certified, you can pick up jewelry crafting writs from equipment crafting writ boards, right? You can obtain jewelry crafting master writs, right? So that's as a reward. Of course, the drop rates on master writs have went down. It sucks. It's hard to get them. It's really been hard since the last update prior to Summerset. You can craft jewelry at the set crafting areas around and beyond Tamriel. So you can craft it anywhere, just like any other writ. Morning, Fred. Hope you're doing well, brother. You can obtain jewelry crafting stations from Faustina Kuro, the new achievement mediator. A normal jewelry crafting station costs 125 vouchers. That's just a normal crafting station. And a tunable, which is where you can use, like, say I want to use Julianos. I want to put a Julianos in my house. Jewelry crafting station. That's 250. Tunables are where you can go to actually copy a crafting station in the world of Tamriel. Tunable stations can be used at any set location around the world. Right. You must own ESO Summerset in order to use jewelry crafting stations. So if you do not have a Summerset, you'll be able to go to Julianos. You'll see the jewelry crafting station there, but you will not be able to use it unless you have Summerset. It's a lockout. Okay. We already discussed that in previous videos. Jewelry crafting traits. Okay. So, Arcane. Increased Magicka. Standard. What we know as standard. Arcane rings and necklaces can be found all over. Trait material is cobalt. Can be created by refined pulverized cobalt, which is found by deconstructing arcane jewelry or redefining raw dust. Healthy. Standard again. Antiminium can be created by refining pulverized antiminium, which is found. Robust. Once again, the standard for stamina. Its trait material is zinc. Okay. Hey, Mystic, next patch we should be able to have 554 setup. Why is no one talking about that? Well, you can do it because of the dual. The most problem people are having is plugging in the two because a lot of people are using what we call carryover. Morning, Helly. Carryover or switch sets because they want to try to maintain their masters or maelstrom weapons. But you're right in a way that you can use the 3 jewelry along with weapons. That gives you 5. But if you use monster sets, right, which is what it's supposed to be promoting, it's supposed to double stack the set, 2 sets with the monster. Or you can use carryover. That's why a lot of people aren't talking about different configurations, because it's all based upon like saying, okay, we using monster proc, or are we just covering over, or are we using carryover sets? They made Requeen way too OP even with the nerf, and now it's like you need that set to do high end DPS on Stam. I'll be getting into that, Snoop. I will be getting into that set. There are pros to it, obviously, and there are some cons. Okay, but I will be getting into that with these patch notes. Triune, increase health, stamina, magicka. Really good on tanks, really good for PvP. Mag needs scoria, but the other setups still work, but you get better deeps with the new sets. It's not balanced at all. Yeah, like I said, there are pros and cons. I will be getting into all of that. I will be getting into it. Like I said, pros and cons, man. A lot of pros. There are a few cons. A few. So, you know, but that's the way this game has always been. So, you just got to know. I will be going over it. Triune is found in Gladiators. Russack obtained from Conquest board dailies in Cyrodiil. The trait material Dawn Prism is purchased from war researchers in Cyrodiil for 100,000 AP per unit. This is a PvP trait. Triune is. So heads up, not every build's going to run this as effectively, but when you get it, it's very resourceful. Mystic, what do you think of Elegance Sword Singers on a Stam Sork? The problem with Elegance on Stam is you lose too much base damage. I mean, the up to 25% application would work, especially if you're using like the imbue weapon more for Stam players. That would be applied, but the magicka to it would be too much base stat lost. So your abilities would go kind of tumbling down. But you can use sets like Gladiator, right? Which during a finishing phase, you would get a boost. But once again, base damage would drop, but you'd have your critical values still intact for Stam. So heads up. If you want a nice, badass Stam finisher, look at Gladiator. A lot of people overlook it because it's kind of whatever. But I'll be honest with you, 25%. Like a lot of people are looking at Bloodthirsty, which I'll be getting into. Gladiator always had like a huge amount of finishing phase towards light attacks. And I'm telling you, nuts. Nuts. All right, Harmony. Harmony ring or necklace is found rarely in the Undaunted reward chest, located in the Undaunted camps near the Alliance. Now, Harmony has to be acquired through the Undaunted. The trait Debilium is found in daily dungeons. So you can get the trait material in daily dungeons, right? Okay, cool. But the trait itself, or ring or necklace to research, comes from Undaunted reward chest. So stack the keys. Okay, stack those keys just to get it, just for research. Once you research it, and you learn it, the trait material is easy to come by. The initial is in there. Sorry, Mystic, I'm just pissed, bro. Oh no, I understand, Snoop. No, definitely, you can come here and vent. That's all good. You do it in constructive way. It's all good. You're not trolling. You're doing it in constructive way. I understand you're pissed. You know, definitely. Swift, not a lot of people are going to use this. You'll see it in some kind of like builds that might want to do speed. Gladiators is so damn OP on a werewolf. I'm telling you, Gladiators is overlooked a lot. But with some of these changes with Summerset, you can really bank up on Gladiators' potential. All right. Swift, you can obtain Swift ring or necklaces by completing your daily jewelry crafting writs. I'm glad they did that. The trait material, gliding wax, can be purchased from Rolos Halua, the master crafter mentor, for 20 vouchers. So if you want that material, you have to buy it with vouchers. Not a lot of people will be buying it, but it's all good. Infused. Increase the power of enchantment on a piece of jewelry. Now, you can rarely obtain an infused ring or necklace from Psijic portals. Okay, this is why Psijic portals are very important. All over Tamriel. Psijic portals are anywhere in Tamriel, but you need the Psijic Order skill line to be able to see them. Okay. You can also obtain the trait material Arbic Amber, or its rare form, pulverized Arbic Amber, from Psijic portals. The pre-refined form is much rarer than the raw form. Okay. So the raw form is pretty easy to get, but the pre-refined, to be able to, upgrade is harder to get. Okay. I want the Gladiator PvP helmet. It looks so badass. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff. Protective. Increases physical and spell resistance. Jewelry of protective traits is obtained by completing the Summerset main quest and the Psijic Order quest lines. Okay. The trait material, titanium, is found rarely in precious metal seams all over Tamriel. Once again, those are the notes. Bloodthirsty increases the damage you deal to low health foes. You can rarely obtain a bloodthirsty ring or necklace in the weekly quest reward box of trials. So you still have to do trials to get the rings or necklaces, but here's the kicker. You can do it on normal. You don't have to do them on bet. So if you do normal trials and you go in there and you get the quests, do the trial on normal, get the box, try to get the ring or the necklace. The trait material, Slaughterstone, is found in the same reward boxes the rest of the time. Okay. Swift for farming. Yep, Swift for farming, right. Either that or like PvP, Capture the Relic. You can use like Capture the Relic builds, like on Blades, and use Swift. Never have to engage. They'll never catch you. Once you got that relic, you're gone. Races. Easy score. You can literally run around the map. Use speed set. Yeah. Get major expedition. Stack it with minor. You're gone. Alright. Once the trait is researched, you may use any transmutation stations to change the trait of your jewelry to that new trait. This costs the same amount of transmutation stones, 50. Okay, so you can transmute your existing jewelry. The thing I like how they split up how to obtain them, and in a way I don't. Right? Because it makes it way too complicated to initially obtain this. Because, like, some ones are easy when you're doing dungeons and this. But for Triune, for PvP, jeez, man, that's crazy, you know? That's a lot of PvP. You're going to be PvPing a lot if you want material. It's a lot. Okay, item sets. Let's go over the new item sets. Okay, Adept Rider. Spell resist, physical resist, max health. Looks like a pretty good tank set. Here's the problem. While mounted, you gain major evasion, increasing your dodge chance by 15%. Dismounting spawns a dust cloud at your position for 12 seconds that deals X amount of physical damage. Problems of it is, this is a tank set. Tanks don't deal damage. So I wish I would have done something besides applied damage. And how many times can you mount up in combat? None. You and your group members inside the dust cloud gain major evasion. Great, so we're going to run away. Hit them and run. Seems great to me. It was all good base stats until you get to the 5th. Done. It won't even go in the trash. It'll never be used. Moving on. Slode's Sim Balance. Max Magicka. Max Stamina. Hybrid build. Spell weapon damage. Damaging an enemy has a 10% chance to put a leeching shadow on them, dealing... Now here's the scary thing. Dealing 853 oblivion damage. Okay? Damages every second for 6 seconds. You're dealing unmitigatable damage of oblivion every second for 6 seconds. This can occur every 6 seconds. So essentially, you have no cooldown, right? None. Zero. Zip. None. Now you can apply that with, I don't know, a set like Knights, right? Right? The PvP, the Battleground set, stack Oblivion damage. Just stack it. I'm going to stack Oblivion damage on your ass. Yeah, that gets scary. Now, mind you, you can't scale it. You can't scale Oblivion damage. I've tried, I don't know how many times, to try to scale Oblivion damage. You can scale Enchantment Oblivion with Torok's Pack. So Torok's Pack will scale Oblivion enchantment damage. But other than that, I've never been able to scale any Oblivion damage through stat base. I can't do it. Never been able to do it. I can't wait for the different quests and Battlegrounds. Team Deathmatch. Oh, you know. Right. That's awesome. So this is a pretty scary set. The only thing I didn't like was kind of like where it went with this. But honestly, who can't use stamina if you're a Magicka for dodge rolls? But this is scary shit. Believe that. Nocturnal's Favor. Stamina. Max health. When you successfully dodge, heal yourself for 4,000. This effect can occur every 2 seconds. Say hello to Nightblade dodge tanks all day. PvP dodge tanks. Holy crap. Mirage build dodge tanks. Yeah. It's going to be annoying as hell. Nightblade tanks. Welcome to Cyrodiil. PvP more frequently. Light's Wisdom of Vanis. Now, these are Summer Zone sets. Now, Vanis set. Let me tell you about this. And another thing, guys. Vet Cloud Rest +3 is AIDS. I doubt other than the top guilds will ever even clear. Yeah, well, AS is a pain in the ass, too. How many people has cleared Vet AS +3? I know people can't do it on normal. And, oh my gosh, whatever. I mean, it is what it is. People have their their level of whatever. And trying to get organized players in, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, and so getting that skin will be rare. It'll be a pain in the ass. So you better either step up your game or, hope to whatever. I hate the idea of, like, guilds who sell shit. You need 3 tanks, so people will ask for higher DPS requirements, right? Well, it's just like AS, except AS you don't need all those tanks. So it's kind of crazy in that way. You split them up. You can split them up in teams. That's why they want 3 tanks, I'd imagine. I haven't got to do it, but I can imagine that's why. Separate them, keep the aggro on each boss. So it's basically like 4 teams. So you have 3 healers. You have 3 tanks, or you can use a healer support, and then you got your DPS. Good go, Zos, for locking the best gear behind the trash. I know. Well, it's not best. It's not. Like I said, I will get into it. I will be getting into it, Snoop. I will be going over that. So, Vanis. Here we go with Vanis. Max Magicka. Magic Recovery. Max Magicka. Now listen to this. This is crazy. After landing a fully heavy attack, gain major mending for 3 seconds. Now, that's nothing big because you get major mending for dealing a heavy attack on a resto. But you can actually do it with the Destro now. So if you do a fully charged heavy on Destro, like Lightning Staff or whatever, you'll gain the major mending that way now for 3 seconds. So it's acting like the passive in the Resto Staff. That's now increasing your healing down by 25%. This duration is increased with each rank of Restoration Staff passive Essence Drain when you use the Resto Staff. So if you do a Resto Staff, you can now apply this on Destro, remember, but if you do it on the Resto, it'll stack the duration. Really, really badass Overland healing set. My favorite, actually, when I got to try it out. I was so tickled with this set. Griffin's Ferocity. Crit weapon damage. Kind of looks like your Huntings and your, Night Mothers, whatever. After dealing direct damage, gain minor force and minor expedition for 3 seconds, increasing your critical damage done by 10%, increasing your movement speed. Unreal, what's up? Have you got to change got to class changes yet? No, not yet. No. I haven't got there yet, Unreal. So, did they end up reverting Sunder? I'll be getting into it. Believe you and me, I'll be getting. I'm just about to get down in there. So, what's nice about this, right, is depending on bar builds, this can adjust bar builds. Is what it's the set's designed to do, and it's really nice for that. Will a lot of players be using it? Not questionable. But if you're, let's say you're not using like a rearming trap, right? Say you don't want to use minor rearming trap. That's what this set's set to do. So a lot of people overlook this set because they're like, well, I use rearming trap, so I get minor force anyways. Now you don't have to. That's all it does. That's what this set's designed to do. It's to basically give you your bar space to maximize what? More ability damage output. That's what it's designed to do. You will lose up on some of the base stats, though. Like, say, if you're not using Hundings, right? Because you'd lose that. But in an ideal mathematical situation, Hundings will give you a percentage of your base damage increase to the weapon damage. But by taking minor force out, which does deal some damage, you can deal with a more direct or more AoE damage. So it's like my Stam Sork. My Stam Sork might not use one ability that the other classes do. Now I can afford to do it. It's just whatever. Zos is good at that anyway. Snoop looking at this MS weapon. Not very many people have it, right? Is Stam garbage now? No. No, Stam is not garbage. It's not. It's, you know, like I said, I'll be getting Stam still looks good. Actually, 2H now looks really good on Stam, depending on class. Like dual wield's still probably going to be the pick. Like bow dual wield is always going to be strong. Bow abilities now are way more viable depending on the class. So you're not going to pick a bow build for like Stam Sork or DK. Why? Because DK and Stam Sork are too close. They don't, and bow abilities don't have enough to justify it. But when you put it on a Nightblade or a Warden, now you have viable range builds. So that's kind of cool. Kind of cool. But you could always do it on the Blade anyways, and Warden. But now with the double stack set, it's even more prominent. So it's really cool. Okay, so like I said, this set up, not a lot of people will be using it, and not a lot of people. It's just a way to get the minor force without having to rely on rearming trap. Okay, good way to look at it. Which is good for PvP actually. So keep this in mind for PvP, guys. Keep that in mind for PvP, too. So, a lot of builds in PvP don't use rearming trap, right? Because they're like, you know, literally, you know, we have to use CCs and stuff. So, a set like this for PvP would be very, very dangerous, right? Very dangerous. Grace of Gloom. Max health, healing taken, max health. When you take damage from a single target direct attack or ability, you have a 10% chance to become a living shadow, causing your light and heavy attacks to heal you for 3,440 and gain major evasion. Once again, dodge. Nightblade dodge shit for PvP. This is what we use in PvE. You can't use this in PvE. But Nightblade tanks with these setups are going to be nuts. I'm telling you. True, Scott, but VMA gets way easier with each 30 CP. Yeah. Fang Rush was hitting hard last night with a bow two-handed build last night. Oh, yeah. 2H. I'm telling you guys. I told you guys. 2H. 2H is no joke. Like, I love when people like rag on, like they say bow dual wield. Don't. If you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you guys. But Fang, was he in PvE or PvP, Robert? He probably was in PvP. And if he was on a Stam Sork, it's no surprise. You give him a Stam Sork, that man could perform so many things. He's really badass anyways. But put him on a Stam Sork, oh my gosh. Thanks, Muscle Power. Waiting, Mag DK is OP from what I read. Yeah, Mag DK is looking really good. And I'm really liking my one build that I was trying out with it. It's not average. So once again, I'll be posting non-meta builds, anticipating people not to have certain setups and configurations. So we will be continuing to do that. So, because not everybody has Maelstrom, not everybody has Master, And so we've got to anticipate that. Asylum's still easy to get, though. So I might do a couple builds with Asylum. All right. Trial sets. Now we'll be getting into this. Mantle's Soria. Okay, spell damage. Minor Slayer. I hated this change. I'll tell you what. I'll be honest with you. I wanted to take every fucking player when they added the Slayer and literally smack the shit out of them with Nerf bats. Because the way the stats were initially, it worked based on the whole thing that Slayer looked like shit since Horns of the Reach. Stack sets like Willpower and Agility was doing better. Why? Because of this fucking thing right here. The only time Slayer actually performs fucking good is when you have a Warhorn rotation and all buffs applied. It's when it outdoes like Willpower and Agility, right? Of course, you had the fucking QQers fucking going in there, fucking crying about some shit. Well, we want those changes, so let's apply fucking Minor Slayer to it. No, let's fucking not. Fucking dumb fuckers. I was pissed. And Zos gave in to them. I was so pissed that they put that garbage back on here. And the only time Minor Slayer, that's why the 5-3 config went down the fucking toilet, because they tried to put in Slayer over Agility and Willpower. Who told you guys first about that shit? I did. And they add that shit. Get rid of that shit for once and for all. I'm tired of seeing it. I've been running 2H since day one. And these dudes definitely can't do math. Anybody who said, oh, doing the Slayer. No, they couldn't do math. Couldn't calculate for shit. Yo, Mystic, are you going to start putting out PvP builds? Yeah, I'm hoping. Like I said, I got so much on my plate. We'll be getting there. It'll work. Some things I'll be readjusting. Some for the good, some for the kind of questionable. It'll all be depending on what people have. But I'll try to get there, man. I'm definitely trying to get there. Okay, so it also gives max magicka. So you can see spell damage. We see max magicka. Direct damage. Direct damage with single target abilities creates a ring of fire beneath you for 10 seconds. Standing in the ring grants 30 spell damage. This effect can stack 200 times for a total of 600 spell damage. Right? AC puts out tons of PvP builds. Yeah, I put out a ton. Swag's in the house. Patch notes about Alliance Lock. I'll be getting into it. I'm going through everything. So here's the thing about Soria. It's a badass set. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not. 600 spell damage is friggin' nuts. Even with this crap. I wish they wouldn't have touched it. I really do. But they made the adjustment. 600. It's badass. The problem. There's one flaw with Soria. There's one flaw with it. It's ground effect. It's stationary. Right? If you move the stack, right? You can move in and out of it and keep applying the stack. But if you're mobile, right? That's the problem. This countdown, 10 seconds, right? And the way the stack works, you have to stay within the vicinity around it. So you can keep moving around it and keep getting the buff, but you literally can't go from one extreme side of the dungeon to the other if it procs. That's the problem with Soria that every motherfucker failed to mention. It overlooked their asses like, great, 600 spell damage, awesome. Timeout. It's a ground effect. If I have to move over here, this may not reach its total peak. That is something to be concerned. That's why I've told you guys, don't necessarily bank the set as much as you want. One of the sets that are going to make a comeback due to light attack increase is what? The Scathing Mage. Scathing Mage will hit less, but I don't have a total amount. But here's the difference. Once Scathing procs, I'm not stationary like I am with this set. Now, 20% isn't pushing out the uptime that this has. So I'll tell you that. I'll be honest with you. This is going to get a better uptime. The problem of it is mobility. right? It's about the mobility of the set. So certain sets that you're going to do hard stack, this set's going to do way better. But if any sets that you have to break, soft stack, and be mobile, Soria becomes garbage. Okay, there you have it. It's going to be based on encounter, what dungeon you're doing, and how mobile you have to be. If you don't have to move a lot, you can move within that little vicinity, which does have a pretty wide radius. Soria is really badass. If you're mobile a lot, blank, junk. Can't finish the build until next patch, though. Got you. So there you guys have that. Now, all rooms. Now, I've been doing all my builds with it. Nice thing about it is it applies Major Courage now. So it gives you magic recovery, gives you minor ages. Minor ages has always been good for healing. For healers. Why? You want to reduce damage, just in case of aggro. Healers always pick up initial aggro until tank taunts, right? Or threats established. So it's really good for that. Major Courage is now a buff, but that's applied to Spell Power Cure and all rooms. Now, here's the deal. Every healer is going to be able to benefit from this set, except, and that's why I haven't got to post it yet, is the Sork Healer. Sork Healer only has healing springs. You want to utilize both of your ground effects. Every other class, the Nightblade, Wardens, DKs, and Templars all have their class-based ground effect heal, except Sorks. Sorks only will have healing springs. And for that, if you're going to use Sorks in trial, if you're going to use a Sork healer in a trial, most likely he'll be a support build using sets like Mending and Worm. So that's kind of where you want to be aware of that. You just want to be aware if you're a Sork healer that you can use all rooms, but here's the problem: you don't have a class-based AOE heal. Okay. So, it's a great set, though. Nice thing about this versus, is it better than Spell Power Cure? The only reason, in Trials, it has a better effect because it applies up to 12 people. It covers you and 11 other people. That's what's nice. It's a trial set. It has its application. So, it's nice. Will it completely replace Spell Power Cure? Probably not, because once again, it's a ground effect. And if people can get it, once you throw the heal, you can target it. You can target this, though. So when you throw it, it's going to cast it. But once again, if people don't hit that inner circle for some dumb reason, they won't get the buff. But the uptime can be 100%. You can keep 100% uptime on all rooms. So there will be certain builds that still will be using Spell Power Cure, because Spell Power Cure, even though it doesn't have 100%, it still has a crazy uptime, like 70% plus. That set will work great on Magplar, since Magplars fight inside the Ritual of Retribution. Right. Exactly. Hell, War Machine with Hundings on Standblade will hit like a truck. War Machine and Hundings is really good. Right. Especially on Standblade. Yeah, I agree. There's only a couple things I don't like about War Machine. I mean, I just hate depending on the ultimate. That's the issue. Medium armor. Medium is the arms of Reliqueen. Now, a lot of people like this set. I actually hate this set. I hate it. People will say, you're fucking crazy. Okay. We get Weapon Crit. We get crap-ass Minor Slayer. Thank you, little fucking whining bitches. Weapon Crit. Light and heavy attacks apply harmful winds to targets for 5 seconds, dealing 200 physical damage per second, stacking up 20 times. So that's a lot of damage, right? It's a shitload of damage. But here's the problem. Light and heavy attacks. Not any attack. It has to be your weave, right? Now here's the problem. This is a proc set. I can literally put a set like Ravager jewelry, trade it, and get the 600 weapon damage along with Hundings that will increase all of my attacks, my light and abilities, that will out DPS the proc. That's why I don't like it. That's why I don't like it. I'm going to be honest with you. As a trial set, once again, I'm more pissed that Magtoons got a buff for 600 that will apply to their light attacks, their heavy attacks, their abilities, everything. And then Stam got some crap ass proc. Now, it's 100% uptime with no cooldown. That's true. That's true. But it doesn't do anything for my heavy attack. It doesn't increase my heavy attacks, my light attacks, or my abilities. Like Sora does. It's true. I'm just... So, Relic Queen, in my opinion, is it a good set? Yeah, sure. Sure. But Ravager, I could stack... Now I have to deal melee attack damage. So I can use it as what? A crossover set. I can use Ravager as a crossover, stack it with the Hundings. Now I have 900. Put on something. I can get up to almost 5,000 and something weapon damage without flinching. So I'm going to take this over a setup like that. You're high as a kite. If you're using this set on a stam, congratulations. You're mathematically fucking challenged. And that's why I'm pissed. I'm so pissed at that. I'm not going to lie. I'm pissed. Okay, 600 applied everything. Proc. Get that shit out of here. Ages of Galwin. Max health, minor ages, healing taken. 5. After successfully blocking, you have a 50% chance to empower 3 allies. That's huge. This is probably the best tank set that has ever seen out of a trial. You're going to empower their light and heavy attacks. Their light attack. Without them being used Might of the Guild. Because Might of the Guild proc now? Garbage. No one's going to spend 4,000 to 6,000 to proc up during a rotation, a viable rotation. It's not going to happen. But you add this to a tank. That's pretty damn good. A tank, after successfully blocking with no cooldown reduction, is going to apply the Empower buff automatically. Say hello to the primary tank build. Off tanks should still be using probably the Alkosh, and a DPS should be for the debuff uptime. But you put this on a heavy a main tank, Yeah, that's badass. This is the best tank. Main tank setup ever for support. It's the best I've ever seen. It's the best. They did an awesome job. Everything looks awesome. There are negative side effects, though. Relic Queen got me pissed. So when people want to talk about Relic Queen, don't talk to me about Relic Queen. Don't fucking tell me that Relic Queen's OP. Don't tell me about it. Don't. Because Relic Queen is shit. Yeah, the damage it procs is awesome. It has no cooldown. But it has no applied effect as much as the friggin' Sora. And that's fact. That Relic Queen set is meh at best. Ravager and Briarheart set. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Ravager set, even though it's heavy, jewelry, weapon, one piece. Proc carry over with, you can either still use Maelstrom or Master. And you'll pull out more damage on abilities across the board. All your healing effects scale, everything. I'm telling you, man. I'm pissed about it. So when people want to talk about Relic Queen, I know they've been watching those players who don't be testing the things the way they need to. And that's one thing when I saw it, I got really upset when I saw that instead of giving stamina users the buff that Magicka users got, they went ahead with a proc set. That to me was bullshit. I'm not going to lie. And to be honest, if you want sustain, you're better off with staying with Vicious Ophidian for a sustain. Oh yeah, Ravager looking so good now for PvP and PvE. Right. So when people want to talk about this for a stam thing, fuck that. I won't use it. I'll never touch it. I'll never touch this set. It'll never happen. I'll use my Vicious Ophidian before this set. Mystic Zai said he did 50k with Relic. And that's fine. He probably did. But was he on the DK? What class was he on? If he was on the DK, what? Zai probably does. But I imagine he was on DK. Was he on DK, Snoop? Probably. I don't like it. 45 with Requiem. You mean Stamblade. You didn't mean Mageblade, did you? You mean Stamblade? Why would a Mageblade put on the... Oh, on the Requiem. Yeah. No, you mean the Siora? I don't like it. I tested it. It didn't do anything for my stack. Didn't do nothing for my base. A magic tune. Oh, got you. I don't like it. It's great damage. Its proc is great. It's beautiful for proc. No cooldown. I get it. Light and heavy attacks though. Stam DK. Yeah, this is good on Stam DK. I can see it. But would I use it on like Stam Sork too? I could see that. Like those two. But do I like it? Do I prefer it? No. I want to increase stats. I want to increase the entire damage across the board. That's what I want to do. Requiem OP on all setups. Go test it yourself. Dude, Requiem is badass, but once again, pros and cons, man. It's pros and cons. There's pros and cons to everything. And I'll never use Reliquine. I won't use it. I'm not going to use this set for jack shit. I mean, it's just not. Just because I'm aware that I'm going to be using, what, a bloodthirsty trait. I'm going to be using bloodthirsty. You know me, Snoop. I don't follow meta players. I don't. I have to go down. I have to do the number crunch. There are pros to it. It's pro. But the con, comparable. 600. Effect. It's like, that really just made me upset. It's just like Magicka gets a boost to the proc, and Stamina's getting friggin' proc. This isn't going to be as like whatever. People can use it. They can do what they want. I'm not using it. I'm not. Tested it, not using it. No, thank you. Bye. Over with. Okay. And yes, it deals a lot of damage. I'm not debating that. I'm looking at it across the board in the entire spectrum, though. That's what I'm doing. Public Dungeons. Big-eared ginger kitten pet is earned by finding 7 rune box fragments. So you can get a new pet. Sea slot mementos obtained. Psijic glow globe emote is earned by finding 7 rune box fragments. And Glyphon Feather Talisman mementos obtained by completing quest Sunhold. Okay. 6k DPS all by itself. Requiem is okay. But I stand with Mystic on this one. Ravager is probably going to be a little bit better. That's what I'm saying. The damage these sets put out is too much, right? Ravager, I'm telling you guys, a lot. I'm going to give you a little spoiler. A lot of my Stam builds will be using Ravager. A lot of my Stam builds are going to be using Ravager. I'm not going to lie to you. Am I still going to come out with some updates like for my Sork, for my Alkosh build? Yes. But when I'm not needing it, I'm going to be using some of my setups are going to use Ravager stacked with either a penetration or a critical. You know, like Hundings, because of the critical value and whatever. Now Hundings is kind of taking a little whatever because you can take depending on critical values. But Ravager is 600. 600. That's going to, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, I can't imagine. I can't. Not every class is going to be able to use the setup that some of the setups I'm going to config. So, and I will go over that in the future, but I'm upset with the Stam set. I'm just a little upset by it. Yeah, it's whatever, but you know, there are some good pros and cons to everything. Like when people were talking about what was it? Friggin' acuity, mechanical acuity. I never used mechanical acuity. I've done it in PvP. I had a couple little niche builds, but PvE I never used it. Everybody's like, why? And I'm like, well, here's the deal. The cooldown, you're dealing a lot of damage on cooldown, but you don't want critical sets with it. You don't really want it because it's going to guarantee critical. So you raise the base damage so the critical value is increased, right? It's guaranteed. Critical value, critical strikes are guaranteed. Cooldown shit starts going down the hill. Red Mountain and Hundings, Rage, Selene's is what I'm running in my Stam Blade. So Red Mountain's pretty good. Like Siora and Burning Spell Weave is night and day, even in high mobile fights. Dudes were still pulling higher DPS on the PTS. Right. And that's what I'm saying, Snoop. That's the only thing I'm saying. It's about the mobility. That's the only thing I'm saying. The sets are good. They're good because Burning Spellweave has a cooldown effect, right? And Ciora doesn't. But it's about mobility. It becomes the question of mobility. Are you stacked? How mobile is the fight? If the fight's not very mobile, you have a badass set with the new set, right? But if you're mobile, you got issues. You got some major issues. Now, you got major issues. And that's why I said strong, but yeah. Now they didn't put the perfect, and the perfect does get an extra stat. Personally, I don't like it. It shows linear system, and I hope it doesn't further progress down this. If this game ends up trying to do a linear or a bis end system, I'll probably leave, because that's one of the things that I always preach about this game. It's about mathematicals and different variables and coming up with some of the number crunching. Now, but if you add additional stats like they do with the new trial sets, now we have an entire linear aspect being applied to the game. Why? Because you have to do said to get the better versions. That's a linear progression. I have seen Ravaging and Requiem together on Standblade and hit 15. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true, and I will be going with Ravager. Yeah, and I understand it if they decide to nerf it. And I'm not going to lie, once again, I'm a numbers dude. So wait, Spriggan's Twice Fang, good for trials? Yeah, you need pen. Well, it depends. No, if you have critical value, Storm, right? If your critical value's there and you're using sets that give you enough critical value, you don't need a penetration set based on the principle that you can use the Mundus along with CP. But that's set up in and/or Berserker Warrior. Right. And see, that's what I'm saying, Snoop. So maybe I'm reintegrating what other people have covered. But at the same time, when I took a look at the new trial set from a stamp position, I'm like, I'm not happy with it. I'm not. Had they done a damaging effect that would increase weapon damage based on hit, right? That I could see something in each win increasing its, effectiveness on the scaling system, I probably would have been more happy with it. But based on, the numbers, I'm looking at it and I'm like, it's meh. It's meh. It's meh. That's what it is. I'm saying it. Nah. Yeah, sure, it hits hard. Okay. It's a proc set. Cool. Are people going to use it? Yeah. Is it a good set? Yeah. Will I be using it? No. So even if I get it, I won't be using it. I would even rather use Vicious Ophidian for the sustain. If I want to sustain better, I'd probably use VO over that still. So if I'm struggling with sustain. So that becomes the issue. Just saying. And I'll still be using like Alkosh on my Stamsork. Why? Because I don't heal trials with main tank with Alkosh. I won't do it. So if someone's like, or a tank says I don't have Alkosh, perfect. I'll bring in my Stamsork. He has it. Said and done. Okay. So, moving on. And I love that, and we'll be getting into that too. Trials. Collectible trophies for completing new Cloud Arrest trial on any difficulty. Collectible bus. Collect on Veteran, we know that. And then you get the pillar. Should be the pillar. Right. Shadow skin. Oh, the shadow skin. Okay, so you get the bust for, and that should be on a pillar. That's what they all are. They're usually, the bust is always on a pillar for vets. And then the trophy. Okay, cool deal. So when you get a bust and vets, they all are on pillars. Right. Quest. Psijic skull cap. Face imprints, body imprints, blah, 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 blah. Psijic portals, very important. You need the untrained eye to see the unseen passive to be able to see the portals. Those can be all over Tamriel. Really cool. Really, really cool. You can get, rarely you may obtain motif chapters from Psijic portals. Those are pretty badass. Abyssal geysers. These are the overlands found only in Summerset. They're group overland content, kind of like dolmens. Really kick ass. So I really like these. New houses. Pretty cool. Pantera motif. I've checked out this motif. It looks so badass. Sea Serpent Hide is the material you can find. Base game. Battlegrounds. Zoss running out of ideas to entice people to play new content. I love some of the new content. This new chapter has way more content. Like a ton of Overland content. Trial is, like I said, I didn't even get time to do it. I didn't get time to do it. Kina Vale or Vale and Crags. Crags is going to be looking good, and as far as like maybe, you know, if you need penetration, but its proc is the issue. It has the least cooldown, so it looks good when it procs because it has the most frequently proc set monster set for stand players. A lot of stand players don't like it because it's, you know, it's little in comparison to the bigger hits. But it has the lowest proc, and it has the most consistent uptime. A lot of people overlook it, though. Okay, Battlegrounds matchmaking now adds an additional multiplayer to value of players who are grouped. This value scales differently between 2, 3, and 4, depending if you're going to be pre-made. All right. So this change is intended to improve the quality of matches between players. Pre-formed groups will generally be pitted, that means generally, be pitted against pre-formed groups, and solo players will generally be pitted against other solo players. So the more players that are in your group, they're not going to get pugs, aren't going to get pwned in Battlegrounds. So it's a base game, and now it's actually like dividing it to say, okay, you two are a pre-made if you and your buddy want to Battleground together. So you're going to be pitted against maybe not a 4-man, but any other 2-man pre-mades. Okay? Heads up. Decrease the rate at which systems expand the range of players to be evaluated for potential matches. These changes were done in an effort to make Battleground matches more competitive. With these adjustments, there may no longer queue times to produce better competition in Battleground, but we will be monitoring their impact and adjusting if necessary. Cool deal. Let me know once you start talking about PvP, real gaming, and how to beat NPCs and run. Okay, yeah, definitely. Decrease the rate. Really cool. Active Finder now includes a daily reward for completing a random Battleground, as well as bonus XP. You come in first or second place to earn these rewards. Further queuing for random Battlegrounds will give bonus XP if you come in first or second. So if you come in last, so it keeps you towards the objective to get the bonus XP. You can now choose the queue for specific game types. So if you want to play deathmatch, play deathmatch. If you want to play flag games, play flag games. If you want to play land grabs, play land grabs. Note, though, if you do this, there is no bonus reward granted for individuals. Yes, finally, yes. So you can pick it, but no bonus rewards. AP bonus still applies, but no XP, no bonus rewards are granted. Oh, okay, so no bonus rewards. Okay, so that's cool. But I think the winning team still gets most AP and then second and stuff. So, yeah, I guess I could see with Stamsork being a dark dealer, David. Sounds nuts. Crown Store gifting. Love this, love this, love this. Okay, so when a gift's received, the recipient is notified via notifications, and they can just open up the box. You can purchase stuff and just send it to people. Pretty cool. Daily login rewards. Beginning June 5th. Note, June 5th. We'll be introducing a new reward system that will allow you to claim a reward each day you log in. You don't have to log in with every toon, just a main toon. Rewards range from in-game currency, consumables, to even unique collectibles. Daily rewards are cumulative, not consecutive. This means you'll receive a new reward each day you log in, not based on the amount of consecutive days you log in. You can claim your reward from one of the following areas: the announcement panel, right after you load into your character, the new daily login calendar found in the Crown UI, or right before logging out. Rewards become available to claim at 12 a.m. UTC each day. The length of reward calendars will vary and won't necessarily be the same each month. We know that because of the month of February, 30 days, 31 days. Until the system launched on June 5th, the reward window UI will appear blank. Okay, so there's new motifs, Psijic motifs. The full book will be rare. They come from adventuring around Summerset. Okay. Activities that may reward Psijic motifs are completing abyssal geysers, killing world bosses, completing abyssal pools, treasure chests, killing Dell bosses, and killing monsters. I use it on my Stamplar. Okay. Chance to obtain a Psijic order motifs. Sapachi motifs. Completing daily quests from Divine Prosecute. Those are like, like what we had in Morrowind. Fang Layer and Scale Color motif chapters and style items will be dropping from their respectable dungeons shortly after launch of Summerset. The Fang Layer motif chapters drop from the final boss in Fang Layer, rarely on normal, more often on bet, and guaranteed on veteran hard mode. The style item Dragon Bone drops from all bosses. Okay. Scale Collar, same thing. New achievements. Yeah. Alliance War and Battleground Collectibles. So the Gladiator helmet. Pretty friggin' cool. Outfit stage pages. Fanged Worm. War and Horned Dragon. Battlemaster. That's for that's BG's. Gotta love this shit. Okay, Alchemy Regents. There are two new Alchemy Regents. Powdered Mother of Pearl and Clam Gall. Clam Gall is an offensive-oriented regent, while Powdered Mother of Pearl is more defensive-oriented, granting new combinations of survival effects. Good to know. Fish meat for provisioning, bait, grease, or very rarely clam-themed furnishings. Cool. Champion point increase, another 30 points, yada, yada, yada. Okay, dungeons. Fixtures, blah, blah, blah. General. Alliance War. General. Okay, is that it? Ultimate Dominion Wardens can no longer use Frozen Gate on other players' characters to pull them into their spawn location in the Memorial District. Oh, I didn't even know that. That's funny. Justice system fix. Quest, zones, exploration, combat gameplay. Combat balance. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Rebalance the light and heavy attack damage scale rotation so the light and heavy attacks now scale their damage in the same way that normal abilities do. Pretty cool. Max Magicka and Max Stamina is now greater contributing factor towards their damage. Well, it always did scale, but now it's even more. Cool deal, Zoss. Thank you. We appreciate that. Much, much loved. Rebalance light and heavy attacks damage across weapon types to reinforce concept that light attacks are for dealing damage and heavy attacks are for restoring resources. Yes, we're aware. Let's go down. Skippy. The following now can be dodged. Deathstroke. Oh, snap. Oh, shit. Summon Shade and its morph. Only their pet attacks. Maw of Infernal. Okay. The following now cannot be dodged. Arrow Spray. Ooh. Overload. Oh, timeout. Time the fuck out. Overload is not dodgeable. Oh my god. Oh. Oh, the pain. It's real. Oh, it's going to hurt. Heavy attacks only. Okay, so it's the heavy attack. It's not the light attack version. The light attack's the one that's like the launcher. Heavy attack's the AoE. Okay. Oh, I'm breathing easier now. Okay. Noxious Breath. I could see that. Puncturing Strikes. Of course. Razor Caltrops. I can see that. Eternal Hunt. I see that. Defiler, completely see that. Hand of Mafala, sure, makes sense. Poisonous Serpent, yeah, cool. Roar of Alkosh. What was dodging Roar of fucking Alkosh? What was dodging Roar of Alkosh? Were people using this in PvP? Or what NPC dodges? I don't know. Now I'm confused. Skeletrex, thank you. Yes. Sheer Venom. It's getting good, boys and girls. I use these 2 sets. Oh, nasty. Nasty. Nasty boys. Cancer. Oh, yeah. Really nasty. Spawn of Mephala. Stormfist. Yeah, a lot of people don't use that set because it's easily avoidable, given the fact you can move, and even if you can dot, it might be, I don't know, I have to check that out. Thermoscale. Range taunt tanks back. Oh, shit. Widowmaker, who gives a shit? You guys messed up that set. That poor set got decapitated. It's OP. Battlegrounds, you can switch out Briarheart for Gladiators or Salvation. Overload, Empower, Elegant. I know. Well, even if you do an AoE effect. So the long range is still dodgeable. So it's the AoE one, the heavy attack. Right? Because the thing about it is, when you're doing the projection, right? That's considered light attack. Right? So that one is avoidable or still dodgeable. So, but yeah, it's still going to hit. Empower, Elegance. Yeah, definitely. The Shadow Mundus now only affects critical damage and not affects critical healing. So they fixed it. I could see it. Ability changes. Let's see the spoiler. We made numerous ability changes with this last update. Some have global implications, while others have specific tweaks and quality of life changes. Some of our major goals with these changes include, I don't give a sheep, Empower. This one was I cried when I read this on PTS. This buff category now increases damage done by your next light attacks by 40% instead of increasing the damage done of any attack by 20. Yeah, because I want to spend 4,000 on a 40% light attack, and by the time I use the ability, I'm spending 6,000 for an increase. Boy, that's cost effective. Can we please take the cost of Inner Light down? Thank you. Thank you. Take Inner Light and cut that shit in half, please, and thank you. Until you do it, cost effective is shit. I don't give a shit. No one's going to use Inner Light proc for 40% with a 6,000 cast. Nobody's going to do it. 6,000. It's like 6,000. Major and minor force. These buff categories now only affect critical damage and not affect healing. Blah, 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 blah. Glorious, noxious breath equal dead healers. And shield stacking mystic run from DK. Nah, I'm good. I'll shield stack until they can fix shield stacking. I'll do it. they better figure out a way to fix that shit. They never will. It's the little dirty secret that something can't get done with it. Ardent Flame, Cauterize. Increase the range to 28 from 15. Love it. Combustion passive restores now, based on burning and poison. So if you add a burning effect, you get magic. If you do poison, you get stamina. Nice. Nice. Really good. Powering Chains, Fiery Grip. This morph now grants 2 stacks of Empower buffs from 1. Okay. Nice. Really good for mag DKs. Shifting Standard. Decrease the cost of this morph to 225 from 250. Could see it. Draconic Powers, Reflective Plate. The morph now removes all snares. It's pretty badass. It's pretty badass. Earth and Heart, Ash Cloud. This ability now heals you and your allies in the area and snares enemies. Note, the Eruption morph remains unchanged. Cinderstorm. This morph now increases the healing done. Obsidian Shard increases the healing done by this morph by approximately 25%. Obsidian Shield. This ability now grants you major mending. Now, Obsidian Shard is mainly going to focus tanks, right? So you can get increased healing. Obsidian Shield is the major mending morph. Okay? So, kind of separated the two because that one wasn't being used. Igneous Shield. This morph now grants you a stronger damage shield that absorbs 200 more damage. Fragmented Shell applies the major mending. Okay. So, very important here. Welcome to the tank. Welcome to the healer. Okay. Shattering Rock. Petrify morph. This morph has been redesigned so that when its stun ends, it causes the enemy's next attack to heal their target. Stone Giant. This morph now also grants minor ward in addition to minor resolve. Light attack, noxious breath equals dead AD. The Zerg will run from light attacks. Yo, David, you on Xbox? Yeah, David's on Xbox. Scott, yep. Oh, it depends which David. Assassination Blade. Okay, Shadow. Assassination Blade. The ability and its morph now deal their bonus execute damage when below 20 at below 25 instead of 26. Lotus Fan. All this pretty much stays the same from the original PTS. Not much changed during this. Even the cost and everything. So, la 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 la. Sorks. Dark Magic. Okay. Bound Armor. Okay, so here's some of the changes to this. I want to get into this. Bound Armor. This ability is morph no longer toggled ability. Slotting Bound Armor will continue to grant you increased max magicka, and activating these abilities will increase the amount of damage you can block. So that was really good for tanks. Problem of it is you have to have it barred for the bonus. It's one of the things I didn't like. I liked the proc, but you lose a tremendous amount. So that was really noticeable. This morph now grants minor ward and minor resolve while it's slotted. It's a toggle, but slotted. Very important. It's going to change a lot. Bound Armament. Morph converts the ability into a stamina ability and now increases your damage and done with light attacks while slotted instead of heavy attacks. So wherever your light attack is, that's where Bound Armament's going to go. But the bonus will have to be on the bar. FYI. Conjure Ward. Increase the strength of its damage shield. Hardening Ward. Decrease the morph's bonus to your own damage shield by 10%. Summon Atronach. Increase the health of the Atronach. Unstable. The pet from the ability. Now basic area of special ability can be used while the pet is active. Twilight. The pet summoned from this ability has a basic heal special ability that can be used while the pet is active. Lightning Flood. The morph now also increases the damage done by 15%. Cool. Templar. Burning Light. Increase the damage done by the passive. That's for mag. Really nice. Piercing Spears. And does not affect critical heal. Puncturing Sweeps. Increase the healing done by this morph to 40%. Not really, but by 5% more. 5%. I mean, cool, I guess. That one had me twisted. I was like, 5%? Okay. This puts Templar healing while damaging more in line with other classes and takes into account they don't have major mending active at all times. Cool. Sure. 5%. Could have done something else, but whatever. Dawn's Wrath, Enduring Rays. Not anybody uses this except for PvP. Nova abilities by 2 seconds. They increase their duration. Cool. Solar Disturbance. Major Maim debuffed. It applies to 4 seconds. Now increases the duration of Major Maim. Oh my gosh. Wow. Another Major Maim buffed. Wow. Restoring Life. Breath of Life. Hasty Prayer. This is badass. That change to Hasty Prayer was really good. And Healing Ritual. The ability and its morph no longer have a cast time. Went over that. Badass. Honor Their Dead. The morph now refunds part of the ability's cost over 6 from 8. Really nice. Okay, Warden got a lot of fucking changes. Lots. Deep Fissure. This morph no longer stuns its closest enemy. It applies Major Breach. Okay? Subterranean Assault no longer applies Major Breach. It only applies Major Fracture. Duration of Major Fracture is reduced from 5 to 5 seconds down from 10. That hurts. Screaming Cliff Racer. Increase the travel speed. Okay. Dude, that's badass. Thank you. Thank you, Zoss. Green Balance. Bursting Vines. This morph now grants 10 ultimate when used on an ally under 60% health and adds 4 seconds cooldown. Pretty cool for PvP. PvE, it's never still going to see light of day. Nature's Grasp. This ability in its Nature's Embrace morph now grants 3 ultimate when healing over time completes. Now that could be used because there's no 60%. That's kind of cool. Arctic Winds. Increase the initial heal done by this ability and its morph to 12% of your max health from 10. 2%. Okay. Crystallized Shield. Increase the cost of the ability and its morph. Frozen Gate. This ability and its morph now deals frost damage to the enemy when the trap is triggered. What? I'm going to check. That one completely. I'll tell you what. I'll be honest. I didn't take a look at Frozen Gate. I don't look at Frozen Gate. Frozen Gate is junk most of the time. I want to see how much damage they apply to this. Probably not enough. The problem with Frozen Gate, no one uses it. No one friggin' uses it. When you see it, you want to laugh. Should have been something else. Totally. I like the premise behind it, but no one uses it. One-handed and shield. Shield charge increases the duration of the stun by a second. Dual wield, deadly cloak, blade cloak. Reduce the damage done by 15%. Wow. Rendering slashes. The snare applied by this morph now reduces movement speed by 40. Down from 50. That got nerfed. Rapid fire. The ability in Toxic Barrage morph now grants you crowd control immunity. Oh, what? Oh, dude, that's badass. This puts the abilities more in line with Soul Strike. Yeah. Oh, dude, Toxic Barrage and PvP with crowd control immunity. Oh, no. Fighters Guild Silver Leash. Okay, so I've gone over that. It has a pull now. Werewolf. Brutal Pounce. This morph now deals full damage to the primary target and partial damage to the secondary targets rather than hitting the primary target twice with partial damage. So they kind of fixed it. Cool deal. Excelente. Fix issues with this, that. Okay, Ardent Shifting Standard. Fixed issues, fixed issues. Okay. Let's get into the PvP. I wanted to see like everything that made it into the PvP. Fixes, improvements, fixes. Alliance War and PvP. Here we go. Refractor, the implementation of characters' passive abilities, blah, 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 blah. Cyrodiil. Let's talk about Cyrodiil. We converted several requirements that were previously part of ability passives to server-side encoding checks, which will cut down the amount of requirement calculated per ability. Adjusted the draw distance around all keeps in effort to improve the client's fragment. Fix an issue. Removed some resources that were incorrectly had wall regen and defensive upgrades. The enable tower regen from rank 5 to rank 1. Since the amount of campaigns have been reduced, and we allow players to group and queue to join any campaign they want. We felt the lengthy guest campaign cooldown was not necessary. We're still looking at concerns regarding alliance loyalty to campaigns. Oh, they're looking at it? Alliance loyalty to campaigns? They're looking at this? Thank you. The concerns? Yes. Look at this. They're looking into it. Thank you. That's all I'm asking. Hey, I got friends on AD. I got friends on DC. Let's get it. Let's do it. They're looking into it. Damn right. Get rid of the AP farming so players have a chance to them and lock them out. That's all I'm asking. That's it. That's it. It's about time. Remove some resources that incorrectly had. Okay, a listing of Alliance War and Imperial cities now have full panel views. Okay. You no longer will be dismounted when traversing various terrains or fixtures near keeps. That'd be cool. Battlegrounds. What the frick? I gotta get back up there. Added new battleground camps to cities, Daggerfall, Davin's Watch, and... Okay, cool. Keeps. Okay, here we go. Yes, yes, and yes. Yes, yes. That's what I'm asking for it. I'm begging Zoss. I'm begging for it. Zoss. Friggin' lock out the friggin' switchovers. Make them, force them into a campaign. I'm not saying you can't PvP on your AD tunes or DC. I don't want it all in the same friggin' campaign. It promotes the other campaigns. It gets rid of all the fucking garbage and clutter and just literally focuses it, man. Did you hear that, David? I'm just saying, man. Make them choose it. And I'll play on shore with you know, whatever, you know, with another tune or something if somebody's going to be on another faction. I have no problem with that. I have no problem. If I'm alliance locked, that's promoting what? People from like playing campaign and stopping the AP farms and people trying to, you know, just pick the winning team. That's going to give more balance to this game. Fucking little crybabies, man. I'm losing on EP, I'll jump on my AD tune, or AD's losing, I'll jump on my DC tune, and so on and so forth, and crap. Loyalty. It's all about loyalty. Let's get it. Let's go. I get along with DC players. Unreal over here, dude kicks my ass every day. If you're still on here, Unreal, he kicks my ass all the time. But you see him on DC every day of the week, kicking my ass. So, every day. Okay. Keeps. Alliance points. Alliance points earned from defending objectives no longer require you to wait in objective for the tick. Okay? The distribution of alliance points after combat subsides. Instead, each type of objective will track whether you've earned credit towards a defense or offensive tick. So if you are defending, depending on what you're doing to defend the keep, you will get the credit, and that will scale your AP gain. Love this shit. Yeah, let's go! Getting on the credit list is achieved by several actions that already occur in Keep Siege, which includes assisting in killing other players within a Keep's area, resulting in earning AP from that kill. Healing and damaging Keep pieces within the area of the Keep. Resurrecting a player character within the Keep's area that's been resurrected, located, rather than when the player is doing the resurrection. Effective healing, non-self. You will not get AP for healing yourself within a Keep's area in a battle that would have resulted in AP being granted from a kill. So you used to see like the mutagen spammers, right? And they would heal themselves and someone would get killed and they get tick. This includes cases where players worth 0 reduced AP from a recent death, such as respawning at a forward camp. If a credit is sourced between players that are both in areas associated with an objective, the AP award to the pool is split 50-50 between the two objectives. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you. Offensive capture. Ticks still have a base value that will be granted regardless of being on the credits list, but any bonus AP earned by combat around and inside an objective will only be granted to players that are on the credit list. Okay. So, literally, that's kind of interesting. I want to see how that works. I'm hoping it works. I'll have to check that one out. You can be on all credit lists. That's good. For single keep superstructures at the same time. Keep, mine, lumber mill, and farm. However, if you attack or defend a new structure, in a different area, your credit for the prior structure is removed. Oh, AP's gone. Because I'll tell you what, guys. I would hit up like a lumber mill. Let's say I didn't cap it, right? But I killed some guards and I moved on and I went to Chalman. And somebody came along and finished capping off the area. I would get credit, right, for the initial hit. That's no longer the case. Thank God. Quit standing around and do something. Yep. So wait, Mystic come to DC, leave the AD to die on Xbox. I've just literally made a Dark Elf Magica Vampire Sork, and oh my God, it kicks ass. DP, awesome. Awesome, Finch. So, yeah, so I'm really loving that once you move on, the tick is erased, right? I love it. I love it. I love that. Thank you, Zoss. Thank you. Okay, outposts, towns, and imperial districts will all override each other in terms of credit lists. Right. What's going, love from the UK. Thank you, Finch. Not much, just going over the patch notes. We're going over the Cyrodiil patch, part of the patch notes now. Really liking it. Enter a delve in Cyrodiil, wipes your credit from all lists. Oh, nice. Oh, dude, so kick ass. If your character dies, you will not be cleared from a credit list, but logging out of a game will. Okay. Increase, which is kind of like, nah. I could see why, though. So, most people, like, when they log out, they log out. Increase the amount of alliance points you can earn from a keep's defense with multiplayer based on the lowest ranking resource level of the keep. Okay, this is where it gets good, ladies and gentlemen. For example, keeps that have higher ranks in food or in wood will have a higher defense tick for that keep. For resources and outposts, there's a flat rate increase to the AP you can earn on defensive ticks. Districts do not have a modifier to defense AP. It wouldn't. Why would it? It's a flag. It has nothing to defend. Whatever. I understand that. Remember, to earn defensive AP, you must participate in defense and not simply show up to watch the fight. So if you're there, it's now promoting defending resources. Not just the keep, defending the resource. So the higher the rank of the resource, the defend will guarantee you a higher tick. So the higher your resource rankings are and maintained, the more AP gained from the defensive position. So instead of the Zergs keep pushing, right? Because nobody gives a shit about defensive AP gain. Nobody, even though it's there. Have you ever showed up and you just got a defensive tick, right? Just for showing up. No longer applied. No longer. You have to defend. Matter of fact, now if you defend resources, you'll get a higher tick based on the resources scale, how high it is. Dudes, about time. I'm telling you. Because you know how many people want to defend resources? No, motherfucker. Because they're tower farming it. Thank you. And once it flips, your resource gain's gone. So it's like, and that applies now to the infrastructure of the keep. Badass. Thank you. Thank you. Let's keep going. Added. So AD listen to this. You better be defending. You better be defending resources now. If you start seeing a resource flag, get your ass out there, is what it's saying. You see, because people ignore it. They're like, oh, it's flagged. We'll go get it in a minute. Let it flip. No, you better not let it flip. If it's got a stack of 5, you better not let that bitch flip now. Definitely. Thank you. Thank you, Zoss. Added new keep upgrades to more defensive siege weapons. The higher the keep levels, this is where we're going. The higher the keep levels are on the wood, the food, and the ore, the more siege weapon defenders you can place. So if you have a 5 on your mine, you have a 5 on your lumber mill, and you have a 5 on your farm, you get to place more siege to defend your keep. You get more siege towards the keep for having the higher resource ranks. That is badass. Oh, let's just hope people understand it. Nice. Okay, currently the defensive cap is 30 weapons playable on fully upgrade keeps. So you can go from a 20 to an additional 10, from my understanding. So we have a 20 base, so you can get an additional 10 on resistance. So if you had 20 and say, oh, I need 10 more, we can have 10 more defensive structures. You know, on oil pots, meat bags, ballistas, we can get 20 more. Awesome. Okay. Spoiler, the main goal for these changes was to be more forgiving and allow more movement in the battlefield without feeling like you have to magnetize yourself to keep a resources after you take it over. It's meant to reinforce clearly that area and moving to your next target without regret of loss. Keep upgrades that spawn new structures will no longer cause invisible or missing fixtures. Okay. Made several changes to keep and resources upgrade. Moved the honor guard's ability upgrades to food rank 5. Ouch. Move mage guard ability upgrades to food rank 2. Towers now have health regen enabled on defense rank 5. That's kick-ass. So now they'll actually regen. Okay. Update the tooltip for tower and wall regen to properly indicate each upgrade of regeneration is 75% instead of 25%. When you break it down so it moves faster. Wow. Did they say anything about the damage? Campaign scoring. Drastically reduce the underpopulation and underdog evaluation period. This will result in alliances getting underdog or underpopulation bonus scoring adjustments. Oh! Ching! While under the benefit of underdog or underpopulation, capturing and holding your native objectives will give you a bonus towards campaign scoring. Cha-ching. We're in. Ding. Emperors associated with closed campaign will now find they are former emperors. So once it closes, they have the emperor title. They will have former emperor and will not get the bonus towards the new campaign. Cool. Holding an Elder Scroll is now worth 10 points in all campaigns. So they're going back to the bonus of the scroll cap. That'll be interesting for the point eval. Cool. It's a lot of points. That's a lot of potential points. Itemization. Adjusted the contents of Champions Catches that were obtained prior to Summerset but will not have been opened. This does not impact the Champions Catches that will be obtained after the release. Okay. Guards. The guards versions of Eclipse will now properly grant CC immunity. Oh. Siege. Catapults now have their area damage persistent in the world for 8 seconds after impact, resulting in better area denial. For example, meatbag catapults will leave an area of healing reduction. Oh my god. No. Oh shit. And damage over time for 8 seconds instead of just applying the debuffs. No. Shit. That's gonna hurt. Oh, wow. Oh, meatbag for days. Increase the ballista damage versus siege weapons by 17%. Cool. Reduce the ballista damage versus player by 10. I hated that. Getting shot with a ballista and just instant death. I'll still probably take a lot of damage, but still. You can once again destroy siege weapons without being interrupted when getting hit by virtually anything. Okay. Now, ballista damage versus player was higher than intended. Nah, that's an understatement. Because the weapon's main purpose is the attack and destroy other siege weapons. Nobody uses that to use it on walls, but yeah, ideally. It was underperforming in that aspect, which is why the damage versus siege was increased. Known issue. Catapult projectiles that land on a destructible keep piece will not currently apply the area effects. Its projectile lands on a non-destructible fixture on terrain, the area effect will apply. This issue will be fixed in the next incremental patch. Thank you. Well, that's the only thing I'm asking for. That's it. That's the last thing I'm looking for. I want the difference between the catapult and ballistas. As of now, nobody's using the trebuchets as frequently as ballistas. Why? Because ballistas have a faster rearm time. So why not make the catapults deal more damage towards the structure? Right? It's what it's intended to do. And the ballistas are supposed to be counter siege. Right? It's what it's supposed to be. But the problem of it is, it's like nobody's playing it that way. Nobody's doing it the way it's supposed to be designed because of the refire rate. So now if we get that at least somewhat fixed, that'll be, you know, a lot better for people who are manning siege equipment. Nice. About time. Thank you. Okay. Then we have some fixes. That's pretty much the wrap up. I'm loving it. I love the new scoring system. Now, the underdog shit, I'm really looking forward to. I'm really liking it. Only thing about it is I don't feel like, how's the kill rate going? Like, is it the same? Did it not change? You know, or do we still have the same, you know, kill AP? Like, I don't, because that's been an issue too for AP farmers, is kill rate for tower farming. That's the only question I have now. It's it. That's all. You know, if we can fix that and take a look at alliance loyalty, we'll have a better Cyrodiil. We'll have a better Cyrodiil. It'll promote other players who have multiple faction tunes to play. It's the only thing I'm asking. It's it. Let's get rid of the AP farming. Let's give people a chance. That's all I want. That's it. Pretty good. Everything looks good. I love Summerset. I love it. It's badass. Tomorrow I'll be doing some gameplay. We'll go over it. For the console players, PC players, we already have it. So, pretty good shit. I'm loving the Cyrodiil changes. Keep it up, man. Keep it up, bro. Keep it up. We can make Cyrodiil a better place. And only thing that it is, like, the districts need to be looked at. That's it. Like, opened up the battlegrounds to base game. Cool. Separated the queue system more efficiently. Cool. Right direction. Taking a look at campaign play. Cool. Now we got this going down. Now we just need a little TLC to separate. Like sewers, I'm fine with. I don't feel like they need to touch the sewer part of IC at all. But districts need something else. Because all it is a PvE. People want to go down there. They farm up frags. They farm up friggin' Telvar. So as soon as you die, whatever. You try to go around. They try to put the bonus XP to the districts, which is cool. Problem of it is as soon as somebody dies, they're out. Because all it is promoting the farm. It's not, there's no objective towards actually doing something. And then if you're trying to do PvE to kill stuff to farm and you die, you don't want to keep losing your Telvar because it's a gank blade heaven, because they'll just wait until you initiate aggro, and as you're fighting stuff, they'll come in, gank you, and then they just took all your Telvar. That's the problem. That's the problem. Is it PvE or is it PvP? Okay? That's it. Because right now it's just a gank blade fest. Give it a little separation. That's it. Make the district something else to separate it. I love it. I love the map. I love the layout of the districts. But for PvP, I just feel like it's got issues. It's got some serious issues. All right. There it is. Pretty much said and done. If anybody has any questions, comments, post below. These are just, once again, my thoughts on everything. Like, I love the new trial sets. Oh, the trial sets are all badass. Except I'm not happy with the stamina set. I'm not. I'll be honest. I'm just not in comparison to the mag, the healer, or the tank. The tank set is probably one of the best trial tank sets that they've ever came out with. That's ideally set for tank. It's the best that they've done. Congratulations, Oz. It's killer. It's a badass set. I'm really happy with it. Thank you. So there it is. All right. Don, once again, thank all of you. Thank you all. I'm Mr. Craven, the CSO Daily, and as always, thank you and have a nice day.